It's 12 o'clock here. It's 8 o'clock over there. So we are ready to go. This is our second episode together with James on Comic Talk. So we decided to bring James back, So Peter made me bring him back. So I said, what the hell?
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
He gets lonely, Efren. Do you know what I mean?
Left out, to be honest, when you do things without me. So here I am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So this is the fastest and best growing show on YouTube, according to me.
Yeah.
So, for those of you to join us for the first time, this is Comic Talk. I started this about maybe 4 or 5 months ago with Peter, where we ask each other, we started asking each other 5 questions, but then we brought James on, so we cut it down to 3 questions each. They don't know what the questions are. I had a glimpse of the questions, but I got to put them in order, so to speak. And then at the end, we have one bonus question. And anybody who's checking us out right now on YouTube, if you want to leave a comment after we ask the question, what your answer is, please do. Right? You guys ready?
Yeah, before we do that, we'll just quickly jump to the chat and see who we've got. We've got C4 Darkman. He's been trying to get
Dickman.
C4 Dickman, yeah, that's it. He's been trying to get onto a live show for a while, so welcome, bud. I hope you enjoyed. We've got the almighty Fuzzy of the Dunlop present and correct, sir. Good to see you. We've got Andy. Nice to see you, Andy. I hope you're doing well. And we've got Terry. Always good to see you, Terry. See it every show, and I continue to see it for the time being. Please do check out Terry's YouTube channel. Just starting out, got some great content there. And I'm correct, Deadman, in saying it's at Deadman, isn't it? It's the same as your username. So check that out. Fuzzy's saying that's a stretch. I think he's talking about the fastest growing show, Efren. Yeah.
According to me.
Who would win in a fight, James or 90s Captain America?
He'd knock himself out with that face.
He would fall over, wouldn't he? He'd trip over his rubber ears and knock himself out. Yeah.
I got my money on James for sure.
Yeah, no, Efren. I've been in real life with James. Basically, to beat James in a fight, you just need to head up a slight incline, and he'll not be able to chase you.
I was just about to say, he's a fast runner because he hijacks those cars pretty quick. He's fast and light on his feet, so he'd probably float around me, wouldn't he? Yeah.
We've got Hector here as well. Nice to see you, Hector. Thank you for joining.
I went running today, and I had a bad day running, man. I was like,
why would you do that?
I felt my age, man. It's like crap.
Why would you go running?
Why would you go running? In the heat?
I go running every morning,
You're insane. Yeah, no. Fuzzy saying Liefeld's cap would take him. Yeah, his chest would take both of them out, wouldn't it?
Yeah. For sure.
Oh, sure.
Stop.
Are you aware of this, Efren? James is allergic to belly buttons.
I have a belly button phobia.
Is it just anybody's belly button?
Just belly buttons in general.
No, specific people.
It could be fake. Yeah, your belly buttons. No, they just freak me out. Huh. I didn't have it my whole life, just like the last 5-6 years.
Wow.
My girlfriend says it's mother issues, but I don't know.
Mother issues?
Yeah, she said that's childhood trauma. That's mother issues. I'm like, well, I don't know. I have
maybe it's childhood, so. Repressed memories are just starting to come up. Something happened to you with a belly button years ago.
Gross. Yeah, disgusting.
Is it so?
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
So well, we'll start off with questions. Efren, have you got an innie or an outie belly button? What's yours? Is yours?
Mine's an innie.
Yeah, mine's an innie. Mine's an innie. Let me know in the chat if you're innie or outie.
Because right now.
James would like.
I'm actually recoiling right now. This isn't funny.
Find out what you're trying to get them out.
Well, you have a video of yourself in a bikini, don't you, on your channel?
I do.
Yeah. Find that if you want.
Darkman's an innie. Yeah. It's good to know. Good to know.
Getting to know
I don't think you realize how much this hurts me.
Oh, I do. I'm running.
I'm really uncomfortable right now.
Right, Jesus, a double finger deep.
I'm gonna leave if this continues.
Efren, sorry, I do apologize.
Not fun. That's what any show we're on. Anything can happen. We can always go to different topics. So yeah, we got that out of the way. And
no, Efren, I think I'm your guest, and he's just offended me, and I think you should. There should be some.
I'm going to show mine.
Oh, gee, I'm not looking.
I'll remove him for a couple seconds. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah, Let's
So
do
these
it.
we're going to ask, each of us picked 3 questions. They don't know what the questions are. I had a quick glance because I had to put them in order, but I forgot most of what they were anyways. But my question is up first. Do you prefer your comic books graded or raw or both? I know it's a big topic sometimes. Some people say they want them raw so they can actually read them. But, grading them keeps them in a certain condition, like for years and years to come. But what's your opinion on this, guys?
Shall I go first? Let
Sure.
James consider and ponder. That's a hard question to answer, Efren, because for me it massively depends on the comic book.
Yeah.
Because I think much like yourself, and I know some of the people in the chat, I am a comic book collector, but I'm primarily a comic book reader. I enjoy the reading of comics. I enjoy the storytelling element, which obviously you can't get if you've graded your books. So for me, the honest answer is, I don't know. The honest answer is I read, so it would be raw, but for my collecting purposes, I would grade. So I don't know if that's a cop out, but basically it would be a mix of both for me. Yeah,
It's a hard question, so
Yeah.
and I put that in there, James,
For
I know
me,
you don't collect the comic books as much as us, but what do you think?
No, I still do. Like if it's a comic, it depends on the comic. If I was getting a first appearance, like a 70s book or something like that, I'd always go graded. I would be terrified of buying like a raw, say, X-Men 1, for example. Say you drove 9 hours to get an X-Men 1. and
Yeah, worst experience,
came back, you
most
send it in,
anxiety.
yeah, and it's like 2 grades lower than you thought it was going to be, or there's restoration on it or something like that. So I just feel like graded is safer. So like if I, and as well, like if I could have all my comics in slabs at the snap of my fingers for free, I would, So for me, it's like I read on my phone. Like when I have own a comic, it's collected, so I would rather grade it.
What about you,
For
Efren?
me, when I was younger, I mean, it would, CGC wasn't around, so yeah, I mean, I would read them, but ever since CGC came around and CBCS and these other companies, it just depends on the book. If I first chance got a raw Amazing Fantasy number 15, I wouldn't even read the book. I would hardly touch it and just get it graded, right away, But then if you buy a raw book like Amazing Fantasy 15, you don't know if it's been, doctored or something,
Absolutely.
So you might get a purple label or a green label.
Or if it's fake,
So, Efren, when you were younger, were the comics on like stone tablets or was it wood? What was it?
Tablets, yeah, man.
Stone
So I made
tablets.
sure I never dropped them because they would just shatter.
Hard to get graded. Just jump to the comments before we move on. Fuzzy saying reading a graded comic is a struggle. I'll be honest. Yeah. I agree. Darkman is saying, oops, press the wrong one. Darkman is saying I'd only want a special comic graded. I think that's a fair comment because these days you see, like everything's graded, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? People are grading books that are fresh off the shelf, and it's like they've got no relevance to the comic other than it's the latest issue of X-Men, which I find a bit. I wouldn't pay the money to do that. I don't think.
Well, it's funny how like I think with like hype and like FOMO and stuff, like comics often you'll find slabs for cheaper than it would have cost to slab it. Like they literally lost money on getting the slabs, which I've fallen victim to as well. I suppose I have like a little slight additional an asterisk question. I know both of you keep all your comics like in like storage units and stuff. Like if I had like an Amazing Fantasy Efren, is your AF-15, is that out? Like, do you have that out on display somewhere?
No.
Or is that like in your?
It's in a carton. I keep those in
Why
plastic cartons. Why?
I'd want that out there. I want to see it every day.
I don't know. I mean, I just keep. I mean, I look at it. I've seen it, and then I just put it away. I think maybe because I don't want it to get faded, by the light or anything like that too. But
do you walk over and like take it out sometimes and just look at it and then put it back?
It's in my box, and I just look at them every now and then.
Just strokes it now and then.
Just strokes it at night before I go to bed. They're my pillows right next to me. Good night.
I'm exactly the same, and it's more because these are pricey items. Do you know what I mean? And there's something in my head thinks I don't want to leave that out for either to get dropped or damaged or knocked or heaven forbid you ever get broken into, that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Fuzzy saying, yeah, surely we're all here because of the raw comic books. Yeah, I think most people start by reading, but I think there's a lot of people, Fuzzy, I'm not going to mention names, in the YouTube community who don't seem to be comic readers. that have channels, but it's predominantly about collecting rather than reading. So I guess there's a mix of all kinds.
Well, I would argue that some like the prevalence of that had sort of ruined it for everybody, where now comics got so expensive because all these people were hopping on to make a quick buck.
Yeah.
And they might not even be fans, like it's...
Hector's saying he loves his Rose, but he does plan on slabbing some in the future. Yeah. Fuzzy, I don't own any slabs, but I've never been tempted.
Wow.
Either. Okay, that's interesting, Fuzzy. That's
Very interesting. Yeah.
And I like the presentation for slabs. Yeah, there's something sexy about it. Dead Man saying, don't be rude, Peter. Respect your elders. I think that's in reference to the slabs issue. How many transform... Oh, how dare you.
Got you there.
Yeah. 3, Fuzzy. 3. But they were signed. Is it 3? And I got that silly Thundercats gold cover slabbed as well. Point taken, Fuzzicus. Point taken. I'm saying Fuzzicus because I've watched the Gladiator 2 trailer today. Has anybody seen that yet?
I've watched it yet.
No. Pretty good. Pretty good. With so many comics being collected now, it's harder for them to increase in value. Yeah, I think the bottom's dropped out of the market, to be honest.
Yep.
And Dead Man, I do like my 9.8 slab of the female Venom. That one from Efren's show. Absolutely.
I'm a beautiful Peach Momoko.
Sexy one.
I want it back.
Signature.
If the if the 3 of you are graded, what would each of you score? I reckon I would be getting a purple label. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't 0.5 or something like that. And I wouldn't fit in a slab, let's be honest. Efren, how about you?
Gosh, I just told the guys I had trouble running today, so I think I'd give myself like a 5.0. Right in between.
5.0. James is going to go 10, isn't he? And
no, I'd be a cracked PGX 5.0. What I am. That's what I deserve.
Fuzzy's suggesting 0.5 qualified. Yeah, probably right. Okie dokie.
Okay, you guys ready for this? Next question is yours, Peter. You ready?
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right, drum roll, please. Here we go.
Yeah, just a little bit different. Your favorite comic book animal, and there's a whole host to choose from. I'm not going to help you out by going through loads, but there are tons of different animal versions of characters in the Marvel and DC universe, whether they're characters in their own right, kind of superhero characters, or whether they are just sidekicks and things like that. So I'll start you off whilst James is Googling the answer there. Look.
Well, I have one that didn't originate in comics, but it's in comics, and
I swear to God, if you say Scooby Flaming Doo, you know what I mean? That's what you're going to say, was it? You can't have Scooby Doo, right?
Okay, okay.
I'm going for, I mean, you can probably guess, I'm going for Throg, the version of Thor where Loki transforms him into a frog.
That's a good one.
And he Fuzzy's with us. Fuzzy's straight on Throg, yeah. I just love it. I think it's just fun and it's silly. And I don't know if you guys saw, but a couple of years back now, it was a really silly run, but they did Pet Avengers.
Yeah.
And you had Throg in that, and you had a load of the other characters. I'm loving the fact that they're both Googling an answer now.
I'm just for inspiration. I don't want to say one and then be like, oh shit, I forgot about it.
While you are thinking there, sorry, Fuzzy saying D, the duck. Tremendous. That's from Something Epic, but I didn't think of this. I didn't think of this. Grimlock. Should have gone for Grimlock. That's tremendous idea because I'm reading my old Archie's Congrilla. That's a good one as well. Okay, James, we'll start with you, bud.
Do you know what? Rocket was the first thing to jump to my mind. Like I love Rocket. Like even outside of the movies. I just really liked him as a character. I like the design of it. I like even like that stupid green outfit he wore back in his miniseries in the 90s. So like he's just been a character I've always really found interesting. Like before Guardians of the Galaxy, I remember I didn't know anything about Guardians of the Galaxy, but I knew about Rocket Raccoon. Yeah. And I was excited to see that, and I think they nailed that. So that's probably my answer.
Stellar performance, really, by Bradley Cooper stroke animatronics or whatever.
Yeah.
Darkwing saying Rocket is a solid choice. How about you, Efren?
My choice, and I had a little bit of time to think about it since I've seen it ahead of time, but I mean, hands down for me, it's Lockheed from the X-Men. Him and Kitty Pryde have that relationship, and he's been in and out of the comic books. Sometimes he's just gone from the X-Men books. I don't understand why if he's always hanging out with Kitty Pryde, but I just like his, he's a small dragon. I don't think he's ever going to grow, but he shoots flame out of his mouth, and he's very loyal to Kitty Pryde and the X-Men. So that's my choice. I really like them.
even a bit of a kick back to myself and James doing a review of the X-Men. I can't remember what year it came out, James. The Pride of the X-Men cartoon.
89.
89, but Lockheed's in that
Lockheed's
as
in
well.
that.
Oh, yeah.
No, I didn't know that Lockheed
Yeah.
went back that far, actually. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And Magneto kicks him, doesn't he?
Magneto
Like,
kicks him.
yeah, like punts him out of the way. Yeah.
Great choices, guys. Great choices. Got lots of good comments here. Lockheed, lots of people are commenting on that.
Well, you
Was
like
he
it.
saying Killer Croc, Ace the
That's a good
Backhound?
one.
Jeff the Land Shark. Is that from Venom? Jeff the Land
That's
Shark.
from Marvel and the
Yeah,
Avengers.
I think it's.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. Captain Carrot isn't a character I've really read a lot about. Or Peter Porker. I quite like Peter Porker. We could have had
Oh,
Spider-Man.
yeah, Spider-Ham.
That's
That's a good
Spider-Man.
one too. There's so many, good answers.
That could be it for me. I love Spider-Ham.
Yeah.
Who? Spider-Ham. Yeah.
Spider-Ham, I like Spider-Ham.
Yeah.
Speedball's cat as well. I can't remember what that cat was called, but that's got the same powers as him.
That's
Kind of
right.
bounces
Yeah,
all over
yeah.
the kinetic powers. Yeah.
Oh, you know who we miss is the Flurkin from Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Name now. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. Good question. Yeah.
Jeff's in Deadpool, isn't he? Oh, I'm not sure, mate. I
Yeah.
don't
My name is Jeff.
know. Yeah.
Hi.
Okay, that's my
Ready
question.
for the next question?
Yeah.
This is James's, and gosh, this is a good one. What's the worst? Go ahead, James. Sorry.
It's the worst comic you've ever read. I'll go first.
Okay.
We're doing a comic book show on our friend GP Venom's channel, and Efren, I think you were on this one as well, and we read this horrendous Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book. What was it, Peter? What was it called?
Get it down.
No, funny. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I know which one you're talking about. Just the artwork too was bad.
What's it called?
Bullet, was it Bullet something or Bullet or Hot? It was
Something
to do
shot.
with- Yeah, I can't remember. It was crap.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a tough one.
Fuzzy will know.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it was horrendous, just awful. The artwork was terrible. The story was crap. Like I would have stopped after the first issue had we not had to read it for the review. So that was
Yeah,
my one.
if that's the first turtle book you ever read, I don't think anybody would read
Oh,
it.
it turned you off, I'd say.
That was pretty bad. Yeah. So, all right, let me go next. So, before I tell you which book, I'll tell you which book I didn't read, thanks to Peter, because he told me not to read it. It was the DC book. What was it called? Terrors, Peter? The one.
That's what I was gonna. Yeah, Night Terrors.
Yeah. So if that's yours, I'm sorry I took it away from
No,
you.
no, no.
But the book that I just didn't get, and I asked Peter too about this. It was the not the most recent Hulk that's coming on right now, but the one right before it when he was like in a spaceship.
Yeah, I heard about this one.
I was like, I just did not get that book at all. And that's one series that I just didn't finish because it was just, I just didn't get it. You know, he was like Banner was around and the Hulk was a spaceship or something or another.
Yeah.
I never quite understood it. And I said, oh my God, I couldn't even finish that series. I said, nope, I'm done. You know, something about that book just didn't mesh with me. I didn't get it. You know, and I asked Peter, what is that about? You know, I'm missing something here. So I just quit reading it.
And that's the sad thing, because that might be a great overarching story, but just a couple of issues lost me, and I thought, no,
Yeah.
I'm not persevering with this.
I usually
crap.
finish a book too when I start it, but I just couldn't finish it. I was like, this is it just bugged me. I just couldn't finish it. You know.
I'm going to cheat. I've got a few, but I'll use them as honorable mentions. I would have said initially, the Night Terrors, not necessarily the main series, but some of the do you know how when you've got these kind of big events, there's always a whole host of tie-ins and things like that. Some of them were just absolutely atrocious, unreadable, you know, and just awful. Pad Bears jumped in the chat here and he's saying X of Swords. I agree. You guys aware of X of Swords?
I have a copy from the Forbidden Planet grab bag. I have
I
like
read it. Yeah.
6 different
So-
copies of it.
X of Swords, multi-crossover event again. I got the omnibus to read. Starts off, I can't remember who the writer is, but Hickman maybe, starts off with like a superb introduction. All the mutants are split up, whatever. They've all got these powerful swords and they're going to fight each other and they get conflict, blah, blah, blah. By the time you get to issue 4, they've just kind of given up with the sword malarkey and they're having dance-offs instead for the fate of the universe. It's like, what the shit? What am I reading? It's awful, just awful. So that's a great pick, Bad Bear. Okay. Controversially, and don't shoot us, after we did that show about the turtles and everybody got very excited and you were going off to read all of the original Mirage titles, and Luke was getting all excited about them and stuff like that. I went back and read some of the original run of Turtles. It's dog shit, mate. It's just awful.
No, I don't think so. I thought I read the first 20 issues. I thought it was pretty good.
The artwork was crap.
Did you read it in color or black and white?
Black and white.
I read the color version.
It just did nothing for us at all, I'm afraid. And I was just really let down. And speaking of let down, my last thing, and this is probably because the comic might not be that bad, but it's that build-up of expectation and hope. And when you read it, it's just so disappointing. And that's the recent Thundercat run. Just slaughtered my childhood. Yeah, I just hated it.
Are you still reading it or you're done?
I am. It's like I'm like a crack addict. Even though I hate it, I've got to keep reading it. So I read every issue and I put on Instagram, "This is shit," and then I read the next issue and it's like I don't know what I'm doing. Cheetara was okay. That's a side thing. But yeah. Should we see what some of the guys in the chat are saying?
Stoop.
Vader down features heavily. I agree. Hububba, that's a book that Charlie on the Killer Comic. Well, no, you won't, Efren. Okay. Charlie on the Killer Comic Show found it somewhere and encouraged us all to read it. And horrendous. I think Deadman's the only person that bought a copy. X of Swords, as mentioned, tripe. When Wolverine got linked to the Roman Empire. Oh, God, I don't remember that. Oh. But Darkman saying, Jeff Loeb wrote it. I was a massive fan, I don't know if you guys read, massive fan of the original Ultimates run. I think the first two minis were great, and then Jeff Loeb took over, and my God, it was unreadable. I mean, there was like incest between Scarlet Witch and
Wolverine's watching them in the forest or something, and he's like feral Wolverine.
Bizarre.
Crap, yeah.
Absolute tripe.
Yeah.
Deathman, the whole thing was a dumpster fire, absolutely. Alligator Loki. Yeah, I remember you reading that one, Fuzzy, and you told me not to read it, and I went and read it, and you were absolutely... Well, I'm saying read it. You cannot read it. There's no words. It's just pages and pages of tripe. Usagi. Yeah, I tried. I did try Usagi. I gave it a shot. Well, I gave it a shot for the Killer Comic Show. I read a Space Usagi, and it was awful. But people were telling us it was an older reprint or something, so it was better than that. Frankenstein, Frank Castle was tripe. Yeah, that was a rough run. But what I would say, Fuzzy, the issue where he gets diced by Daken to one shot, I think is it the Punisher the List or Wolverine the List? That is brilliant. Have you read that one, James? Because you're a Wolverine.
Yeah, I read that one. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, we get cut to shreds and arms faced off and stuff.
Literally, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. But you're right. The rest of the series, tripe.
I think the problem with this is, the worst comic book, but sometimes the covers are so nice that you get sucked in just by looking at the front cover. Yeah, I'm going to read this. But then you get into it and you go, oh, damn it, this book's no good.
But Efren, that's a really good point, because we've become not all of it, but we've become a group who kind of pick up comics not because of the writer or the content of the story, but we'll look for nice shiny covers that we like the
mini posters, basically.
So a lot of the comic buys are based on, oh, that's a nice cover, I'll buy that. Actually, that doesn't translate to a good comic a lot of the time, does it?
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
And most of the time, the cover artist hasn't even touched the book. Do you know what I mean? They don't do anything with the book.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a funny one.
Yep. All right, you guys ready for the next question, or do we have any more comments, Peter?
Fuzzy, Spider-Man has some shock, yeah.
Shocker!
Spider-Man's rough at times, mate. You're right.
Okay, I think who is next? Let me see. I am. Okay, yeah. So this one, given the chance, which superhero team would you want to join? So let me go first.
I'm assuming I have superpowers. Otherwise, I'm going to be the Hawkeye of this
group.
We all have
superpowers, yes.
Okay. So who do I like?
I would love to join the Fantastic Four, the first family of Marvel. With all their explorations, they always go into outer space, or they just
on an outer space adventure.
With Reed and stuff like that. I think I would just like to join the Fantastic Four. I think it'd be cool hanging out with Ben Grimm. So that would be my choice.
I would go Avengers. because you get to live in that lovely mansion. Jarvis waits on your hand and
That's
foot.
true.
As much food as I could eat. And then really I can be a D-lister because I'm surrounded by people like Thor and Captain America, and
You can just
so I
hang
can
back,
just
let
kind of
them do
hang
the
back,
work.
you know what I mean? And then just come at the end, yay, you know. But the truth is, knowing my abilities and my skill set, I'm probably more likely to join the Great Lake Avengers because that's a bunch of misfits and weirdos, isn't it? So I'd probably end up with them, I would have thought.
Yeah, but I'd be able to hang out with Herbie from the Fantastic Four and check
You
out
would?
Willie Lumpkin, the mailman. You know, so hang out with him too. You know, and hang out in the Baxter Building. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that?
No, man. The Baxter Building, at least the Avengers Mansion blows up once every couple of years.
Yeah,
Baxter Building's constantly falling into the negative zone, isn't it? Disappearing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You'd be on edge constantly.
Yeah.
Like
Go to
Galactus,
bed
yeah.
and you wake up with an ill sort of you call them looking at you. Yeah.
yeah,
I'd go Guardians of the Galaxy. Get to explore the universe. It'd be
yeah.
pretty cool.
That'd be cool.
You know, you're a real tight knit family. I think it'd be nice. They all seem like fun people to be around. Yeah, I thought I'd probably go for that one.
That's
See
a
the
good
universe.
choice. I like that.
To
choice.
chill on Nowhere. I'd be there drinking in the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Fuzzy suggests we should join Charlie's Angels. You're definitely the Bosley, Efren, I think. Me and James are the Angels.
I'm Cameron Diaz.
Yeah. The Wolverine story was from Volume 353, written by Loeb and drawn by... Okay, good stuff. Thunderbolts. It's a bit risky, but the Thunderbolts, because you're going to be surrounded by murderers and criminals, aren't you?
Yeah, you
Yeah, you have
got
to watch your
stabs.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's me
I
and-
nearly went down that route of answer, and I said I better not. Just
Yeah. Giggity,
Yeah.
giggity, giggity. Yeah, that would be interesting. I joined the new Fantastic Four when Wolverine, Hulk, Spidey, and Ghost Rider ran things. That was a cool little run, actually. Really enjoyed that run. The original Thunderbolts, so it could be a baddie as well if I wanted to. That's the thing with the Thunderbolts movie. For me, the original Thunderbolts run was that shock element of who they actually were.
Yeah,
I don't know that we'll get that in this film. It's going to be an interest. I don't know if they'll even try and do that one. You know what I mean? Because they've shown you who the bad guys are.
I like.
I wonder
the
if
Thunderbolts.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a copy of Suicide Squad to an extent. I'll be in the Legion of Substitute Heroes. Probably. Fuzzy, I'm a murdering criminal, so I'm fine. Yeah. Yeah, most likely. Good question, that one, Efren.
All right, ready for the next one? It's yours, Peter. Here we go.
Okay. Yeah. Continuity, comic book continuity. Is that a good thing or a bad thing for readers? Do you think it's positive or does it get in the way and hang things up? So I'll give you an example. We've had, crikey, 60, 70 years of Spider-Man now. And we've had resets from time to time. Same with the DC universe. Is it too hard for new readers to come on and kind of pick up a new book because of those 20, 30 years of whatever backstory and stuff to try and learn and understand? So for me, it's a double-edged sword. I think it's good to reset now and then, but I do like the continuity. I like the fact that these stories have continued. I like the background to it. Back in the day, a lot of the comic books, before kind of Marvel pushed ahead with it, back in the day, a lot of the comic books just didn't bother with continuity. It was just, each issue was almost a single kind of story. And there's benefit in that, I guess. But for me, when you become interconnected and you get a wider kind of narrative, it leads to more interesting stories. So I think I'm leaning on the side of, yes, I think continuity is worthwhile for readers. What do you guys think?
it's bad. I don't think there should be more than like 2 years of you needed to have read up to now, like going backwards. You know what I mean? I had a lot of trouble when I wanted to jump into Daredevil, and I was going back a volume. Oh, it starts at the end of a thing. Go back another volume, starts at the end of the thing, and I went back and back and back, and I went back like 10 years or something. I had to go to find a jumping on point that I was still like losing some context of where the story was starting, you know? So that was a struggle. And I also think things end in a way where it doesn't really end. Do you know what I mean? Like I remember we read Secret Invasion, and I hated how it just ended with more like loose threads than it started with. And I thought that was really annoying. So I think on both sides of a story, it's not a full story. So I think that's sort of a problem. But like, I do get that it rewards you for investing all the time and reading. But it just does make the barrier for entry very high, I think, for a lot of books.
Yeah, I agree.
That's
Well,
such a tough question because Peter and I were older readers, and I think we like continuity to see, what's going on. Younger viewers, I think to them they just want to jump on and have something new for them. So that I don't know, So I think for older readers it's bad. I mean, it's good, but for younger readers, like James just said, it's bad because he doesn't want to go back and read everything up. So
Yeah.
it's tough. But there's always a new writer too, so he has to follow, his train of writing too. What's he going to do? So yeah, but continuity, we're talking about 60, 80 years, and that's such a long time. And sometimes I do forget, continuity, about what happens, to characters in the past.
And I guess we've had continuity resetting events, haven't we? So DC's famous for its crisis events, that kind of re-establish things. I don't think Marvel's ever had like a big company-wide reset, apart from
I think so. They should,
was it Heroes Reborn they did?
And they did Age of Apocalypse too, the X-Men. But I think overall, the only one I remember was like Heroes Reborn, But so that's the
whereas like Marvel continuity does go back literally to Volume 1, Issue 1, So like it's kind of crazy, how much is in there. Like,
good question.
Couple of comments,
Peter?
Yeah, Darkman, I don't like comics being reset. I would like them to have an ongoing, but the age the characters like Dread, the Savage Dragon. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Pat Bear, continuity is essential. Stop, my dogs are going mad downstairs. Can you hear them? Continuity is essential. Stops weirdo writers changing characters into something they weren't meant to be when they were created. Again, that's a good point, Pat Bear. That's a good point. Sometimes with Marvel Age can get mixed up. Kitty kind of had an underage relationship with Colossus, and Peter Wisdom, depending on which comic you read. Yeah, that was a bit odd at the time. There's certain characters I've never gotten into. Green Lantern, for example, I know nothing and wouldn't know where to start. That's a great point, Fuzzy, and it's a shame in some regards because some of the Jeff Jones Green Lantern tales are epic, absolutely epic, and I'm not sure you need to know all the continuity for it. But I'm thinking things like Sinestro War and Blackest Night are just superb. So great books. But you're right, years of continuity to try and catch up on that.
Is this a thing? I know like Marvel does like classic collections and stuff like that, but do they ever do like here's the essentials for like Daredevil or something? Here's like we have a new volume coming out. Here's the 10 books you should read that are important to know.
I've certainly seen things like DC. I had it when I was younger. DC will do things like the greatest Batman stories ever told, and that's over 30 or 40 years or whatever, but I don't know if I've seen like an essentials, the key stories kind of book. Be a good idea if they did. Fuzzy, best publishers need to think of the next fan. They have to make things accessible to the next generation. Just a few more comments there from Deadman. In the early years of Superman and Batman, there really wasn't much continuity. It really started in the 70s when DC grew up because of Marvel's success with the continuity. So like I say, they were kind of one-off tales almost, and the sometimes didn't align. I think the Ultimates should reboot every 5 years and then have the main continuity actually age. Be good. Have you read Tom King? Yeah. Greyman, they must change stuff as Punisher fought in Vietnam, but that must be different now.
Well, that's Punisher. That's the Garth Ennis Punisher, so that's in a separate
version.
Continuity, isn't it? That's like Nam is a different.
No, so the 616 Punisher is Nam as well now.
Well, then he must be like 60, 70 something then, is he?
Well,
did they not update it to Iraq or something?
No, I don't think so.
Well, there's that new series going on right now. What's it called? Get Fury?
Get Fury.
And that's taking place in Vietnam, I'm assuming, so that's a long time ago.
Because I remember the point of like when Garth Ennis started with like Punisher Max, the point was that he's aged the character accurately from the 70s to the 90s, 2000s. Whereas now he's still 40 something.
But I don't know what age he was brought back. So don't forget he died and became a angel
he did, didn't he?
During the Marvel Knights run. So I don't know. And then he got chopped to bits by Daken. So I don't know what age
he's had a wild few years, hasn't he? Yeah.
Poor guy's had it rough. Maybe you guys could do a show with top 10 for various characters, giving us guys something to read. Yeah, that would be cool. recommended reads. Okay, that's all the comments at the moment, bud.
All right. I think this is James's question. You ready, James?
Yep. What's your dream writer, artist, and either character or series team up? So, if you have a character, what would be the writer artist combo you'd love to see tackle that you'd be really excited for, or a series, or
this is
an
new,
IP?
something new.
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was something you wanted to like all time. Gosh, and now I have
No. Well, if you could form a team for a series, what would you do?
Gosh. Well, I think my writer would be everybody knows this one. Fudge is gonna get mad at me, but it would be Rodney Barnes.
Of course.
I'm just really digging his work, man. Just when I found ever since Philadelphia, and I probably read some of his books beforehand, but a lot of times when I read books, I don't even bother to look who the writer is.
Yeah.
You know? So he's written Star Wars, you know, and he's doing his own books now too. The writer, like I said, would be Rodney Barnes. The artist, oh gosh, I'm trying to think of somebody. Oh, Stanley Lau. I mean, I just love and then he does covers. I think I've never seen Stanley Lau do an inside of a book, you know, but his artwork on covers is just, to me, it's just top notch. I really are into that. And a character series team up. Well, since they're my dream writers and artists, you know, I would like to do another, so to speak, Marvel team up book, just with different characters every month, just to see him draw different characters.
Nice. That's cool. Cool one. Pete, you got yours?
It's kind of cheating, I guess, because I feel I've already got what I want. So my initial answer would have been internal artwork and cover artwork by Alex Ross and Mark Waid, because I love Mark Waid's writing. Writing something like probably Avengers. I don't want them to do just Thor specific, which is my favorite character, obviously, but I'd like to see that. My more off the wall choice would be Alex Ross again. Alex Ross is always the answer. And probably Jonathan Hickman doing Darkhawk, a character which I think is underused, and I think that would be pretty.
I really like Darkhawk. I'd like to see that.
I'd like to see that. And
Cool.
Hickman's just got that kind of really well thought out kind of narrative. But the truth is, based on the last 2 years worth of reads, I would just really, really like to see some kind of continuation. And I had to Google to make sure I got the artist right. A continuation of the team that did Avengers Twilight. So Chip Zdarsky and Daniel Acuna, because I thought that was... It made us care about the Avengers again. So I'd like them in the same universe, so the same timeline, but give us another team. So give us, I don't know, Thunderbolts or something like that. Just give us something in the same universe, but focus on different characters. Because I loved it. Absolutely loved that.
Is there an Alex Ross? Because you know how he has the like portrait kind of one covers. Does he have a Darkhawk one?
I've never seen an Alex Ross Darkhawk.
No,
but it would be.
I feel like I can almost picture one. I feel, but I don't know if that's. I'm just imagining that. For me, I when I asked this, I didn't even have one in mind, but just on the spot. Alan Moore. I love Alan Moore, so I'd love to see Alan Moore's take on the Punisher. And
that would
that's
be
a good one.
Martin Simmons doing the art.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. I love I think his artwork is so striking and gorgeous. Like it's
when he puts a bit of effort in.
Yeah. I was actually tempted to Thought Bubble because he's there this year again to get ask him for a Punisher. Like imagine spraying blood or spraying the white on him, like around the skull and stuff. I think it'd be cool. So I'll get that.
That would be pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. When I first read your question yesterday, James, I thought it was like all time. Who's my favorite all time? So I'm just going to give the answer for that.
Okay, yeah, but Peter did. So.
It was like Chris Claremont and John Burns run on the X-Men. That was like my favorite.
Yeah, I mean that's all-time great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what, Efren? That's really interesting because I did an interview show on Saturday night with the fabulous Cliff on Comics, and we're talking about John's run on Superman, and I had forgotten just how perfect that was. I mean, the artwork, it's just amazing. So yeah, I think he's a writer artist who's kind of disappeared a little bit from people's minds,
Yeah, he just is retired, and I think he's in his 70s now, and he just doesn't, I was going, gosh, I would love to get his signature, almost like he seems like I could be totally off, but he seems like a recluse, almost like Stanley Lieber. Not Stanley Lieber. I'm sorry, who was the artist
Steve Ditko?
Steve Ditko. Steve Ditko just doesn't, once he was retired, he said, that's it, I'm done.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what we've got in the comments. Just before we do that, we've got 15 people watching. Please do hit like and subscribe over on Passpoint Comics, Triple G Comics, and One Good Scare Show / James T. Keegan, whichever one he wants to promote.
I'm not going to stroke James T. Keegan.
I have.
Efren just have a dirty joke. Someone's got to clip that now.
Filth, absolute filth. Lovely question, James. Let's have a look. Hector saying Rob Liefeld and Rob Liefeld on Justice League.
Imagine Superman's chest.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. Has he ever done a Superman? He has done Superman. I'm sure I've seen images
Covers,
of Superman.
yeah. He's on cover.
Yeah.
That's
a great answer.
Thundercats by anyone else. Yeah, absolutely. Grey Man, Ostrand Mandrake doing a Demon Spectre team. That would be amazing. Yeah, that's a good choice, mate. That's a very good choice, actually. Rob Kirkman, I love his Invincible. Yeah, drawn by I can never pronounce his name. Silvestri covers. Turner would have to dig him up. Do Exiles, but with Exiles, yeah, with 611 Scarlet Spider leading the team. First Rock would visit the Amalgam. I love that series as well. The Amalgam universe.
Amalgam, yeah. Dark Claw, is it? Wolverine and Batman.
Yeah. And Super Soldier and Amazon. Yeah. Exiles was a great little run. I loved Exiles actually. Nice to see you, Brian. Hope you are well, bud. Pad Bet, he would hate writing it, but I want to see Garth Ennis on Spider-Man. Yeah, that would be a rough Spider-Man, wouldn't it? Daniel Warren Johnson on Tomb of Dracula would be wonderful. Yeah, his art style would fit that very, very nicely, I think. Not sure if they're still alive, but Michael Fleischer. Don't know who that is. Does anyone know who that is?
No.
Not sure who those ones are. Writing a Western series, joining John Hex and the DC Universe Western characters. I've never read much Jonah Hex. You guys read much of his work? I've not seen.
No, I've seen the movie. Have you seen the movie? It's dog shit. It's like one of the worst.
I shall add that to the list. We'll watch that one then.
He wrote Jonah Hex and the Spectre in the 70s and 80s.
Okay.
DC.
Okay. Very cool. DWJ on Justice League Dark. That would be cool. Yeah, that would be very cool. Okay, Efren.
All right. Let me see. Who was that last? I think my question.
Peter's next, I think.
Is it?
Oh, sorry. It's mine. The last goes back.
Yours is, yeah.
Sorry,
right. Back to me. And what are some of the most memorable friendships, rivalries in comic book history that you can remember?
Okay.
I can go first. Mine would be Captain America and Bucky. I think that's the longest friendship rivalry in comic book history, one of the longest ones. And when they brought back Bucky as Winter Soldier, I think that was epic, and just their friendship, throughout the decades. So that's my choice, comic book.
So has it got to be the same friendship then stroke rivalry? Because I'm not sure, or just a friendship and
do you mean
a rivalry team,
or a friendly rivalry?
Friendly rivalry, yeah.
Okay, so not like Batman and Joker. You have to go like Okay.
Because I would have gone for my favorite team friendship. I would have gone for Wally West, Flash, and Dick Grayson, Nightwing. I love when they're in comics together and they've got that relationship.
That's a good one.
Rivalry, Efren. I'm going to pinch one that I thought you might say. Just for comic value, is Batman Guy Gardner. That initial run in Justice League International, Justice League Europe, can't remember which one it is, where Batman decks Guy Gardner with one punch. It's just, have you read that one, James?
Nope.
No, it's tremendous. So Guy Gardner, you know who Guy Gardner is? He's just a dick all the way through the series, Yeah. And he's always antagonizing Batman and pushing him and things like that. And they kind of come to this face-off with the entire Justice League around, and Guy Gardner's giving him jip, and then you just see this flash, and it's Batman's decked him, and he's on the floor unconscious. And Blue Beetle's kind of killed himself laughing, saying one punch. It's just superb, absolutely superb. So yeah, that would be my pick.
Yeah, for me, did you see the leaked pictures of Guy Gardner and Superman? His costume is
it's not just the costume, it's the hair.
The hair is
I mean, he's meant to have a bad haircut, but that's just...
Yeah. I wonder, I hope it looks better on screen. Or it's supposed to make a joke of it.
Going to be really unkind here, but I have to say, Nathan Fillion, as much as I love him, in the images we've seen, so it might just be different, he just looks far too old. He looks
Yeah.
like an old man cosplaying.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing.
15 years ago, it'd have been a great choice, but
Yeah.
I agree. Rivalries, Punisher, Daredevil. I think is always a great one. I love seeing them on screen together or on panels together. I think that's my pick. Anyway, I'm trying to think now. I remember in the one where he takes over the hand. They have some really good scenes together. There's a bit where he gives him his vest or something, doesn't he?
Say that again. I missed that. Sorry.
So in the Punisher run, there's a Daredevil issue.
Oh yes,
and doesn't he take his vest off him or something like that? Yeah, it's good.
It's a cool run that.
Yeah,
good choice. Good choice. Just jump to the comments. Pat Bear saying Spidey and Green Goblin, absolute classic team rivalry here. Batman and Supes for me. They heart each other but clash wonderfully. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Von Hoot. There's some great kind of interactions between the pair of them. Pat Lash is my favourite Western guy. Yeah. We've got Alex. Nice to see you, Alex. I hope you're well.
Thanks for
It's been
joining.
a few months since I've joined a live stream, but I've been watching all your stuff after the fact. Thank you so much, Alex. We really do appreciate that. Grey man. Wahaha, that Guy Gardner's famous laugh. Bad Bear, Spidey and Green Goblin, Wolverine and Sabretooth. Just on that note, guys, there's a comic out at the moment. It's called Wolverine. Can't remember what it's called, but it's basically set in the Claremont run, and he's writing it. And the first issue was just a pure battle between Wolverine and Sabretooth. And it ends with Wolverine decapitating Sabretooth. It's well worth a read.
Does he gouge his eyes out at one point?
Yeah, gouges his eyes
Yeah,
out.
I saw that panel. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
It's really cool. Gory. Surprise, actually. Yeah.
I was going to say Gardner and Batman. I love it when Guy was mooning past. It's tremendous. Buzzy, this is a great point. Arkham Asylum show has been binned. That's a bit. Yeah.
So it started as in the Matt Reeves universe, which I would have loved to just throw 10 villains at us. Let's see them. And then it was like, okay, now it's going to be a DCU thing. And now it's just gone. So it's like, come on.
It's just such you could have such fun but such darkness with that. Do you know what I mean?
That'd have been amazing.
Focusing on the horror element of it could be amazing.
It feels like they're pivoting so hard away from Pattinson Batman stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some people think they might just cancel the second movie, and it's like, imagine if they do that.
Wow.
Yeah, I've heard that rumored a bit. Yeah.
Here's hoping not.
Darkman is saying, I think the white suits for guys meant to unify. Yeah, from what I've read, it's a Maxwell Lord kind of funded Justice League, which is why
it says they have a Justice League logo on their t-shirt on his t-shirt. So
Grey Man saying they're cancelling shows before I even get to hear about them. Yeah, doesn't take long, mate. Supes and Lex is the biggest rivalries it gets. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Daredevil, Black Widow, bit of a love-hate relationship. Alex is saying he's just read Dan Slott's run on Iron Man and loved his relationship with AI Friday. Yeah, I know it doesn't exactly answer your question, but cool dynamic. Yeah, absolutely. Is that the one as well, or is it before that one, Alex, where Iron Man's AI suit goes a bit crazy and they end up on a kind of a desert island and things? It's really interesting run that, because he ends up, Tony Stark kind of gets kidnapped by his armor, but it's pretty cool. Deadman, DD and Kingpin doesn't get much bigger than that. And Black Widow and Hawkeye. Ladies and gents, we're loving all of this interaction, so thank you so much. We will get to as many comments as we can, so thank you for that. If Penguin is awesome and does well, I can see Arkham coming back. That's good.
They're hyping that show up. Like House of the Dragon.
Good.
There's a trailer every episode of House of the Dragon. They play the trailer during it. So
it looks good. It does look good. We've got Rogue One Photography. Nice to see you, Phil. Hope you're well. Fuzzy, sidebar. I was watching a show the other day and they played a Fox special teaser for Deadpool. I feel like I've seen the entire Sabretooth now. It lasted 2 or 3 minutes. Fuzzy, I'm with you 100%. I haven't seen that, but I've seen lots of images and photos, and it's like, why are you showing with?
They have the lead up. They have the lead up to the fight, and how the fight ends was leaked. I remember the screenshots of that. So like,
it's just irritating, isn't it? It's just
but
irritating.
I want to see the actual fight, So I think the fight itself will be cool. So looking forward to that.
Shameless plug. If anybody wants to see Batman punch out Guy Gardner, I have a short of it on my YouTube channel.
That was quick. You just knocked that up.
All right, you guys ready for the next question?
Yeah, sure.
This is yours, Peter, and this is a really good one. God, this topic alone, I can see just talking hours about it.
Yeah. Oh, so it's been talked about a bit. There's this, for anybody that doesn't know, Jim Lee is going to, let's get the image up. Jim Lee is going to be at one of the big cons. Is it San Diego? Everyone think he's going to? I can't
Yeah,
remember
he's
which
going to be at
con.
San Diego. Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
so.
San Diego Comic Con. And his agent put out this whole big thing about, for the first time in a long time, Jim Lee is going to be doing commissions. So I'll just run through the price list here. An 11 by 17 inches full figure of one character with a limited background, $20,000.
Fuck.
If you want any extra characters or anything in the background, it's $35,000. A 9 by 12 inch waist up figure, $9,000 to $15,000. If you want a small headshot sample, a small headshot is $1,000. If you want a blank comic cover, you'll only do busts with no background, and that's $8,000. And if it's a wraparound cover, it's $12,000. But he'll supply the blank comic cover if you fancy. So that's
very nice of him, isn't it?
That's good of him. So I guess, I mean, this has been debated and discussed on other shows. I know that, but for me, at what point does an artist? Yes, we are all lovers of the art form. We love comics. Blah blah blah. Really, $35,000 for what is in effect just one? I guess it's a one-off piece of art. I guess. Do I think that's worth it? And I would argue down. No way someone like myself would ever buy something like that. But I do love a blank cover. But am I going to shell out $8,000 for a blank cover? I mean, Efren, you buy a lot of commissioned pieces, as do I to an extent. What's the most expensive you've ever paid on a blank cover?
I think between $500 and $600.
Yeah, it's about the same.
Yeah.
I would struggle to justify $1,000 myself.
Yeah.
Which is why I kind of pulled back from, we were talking about trying to get Daniel Warren Johnson to do something, but his were quite pricey. So I guess I open it up to you guys, and then we'll go to the chat because it's popping. Do you think there's value in that?
I think what I would take issue with is, to me, it seems like he's charging what he would charge a comic book company for fans. I think that's sort of the issue. Like, we go to, Thought Bubble, for example. There was like Charlie, his last name escaped me. This is The Walking Dead.
Charlie Adler.
Charlie Adler. Yeah. Free sketches. Like, he's just doing them. Obviously, he doesn't do them free for, like comic book companies. But like here, I understand as like a comic book legend, obviously his time is valuable, but like he's at a fan event, like, and like to have such like deep restrictions, like he's probably a multi-millionaire, I'd imagine. You're
talking about the restrictions, James. The other interesting thing is it clearly says in the kind of the terms and conditions that Jim Lee will pick which ones he wants to do. So, if it's a character he thinks, I don't want to be drawing that shit, he's just going to say, nah, not doing that one.
Right. So you can show up there with 20 grand in cash and be told no.
See. Which I can get. I mean, it's his time, I guess. What do you think, Efren?
I recently read an article about this, and I forgot who wrote it, but they were trying to justify his pricing, and they were mentioning that he's one of the some of the more famous artists are passing away, unfortunately, like George Perez, and other artists, and that's why his prices are at that price right now. And they always say that this price right now, in a few years, it's going to be a bargain because you can resell it at a higher price after that.
That's the thing. How much, if you say, I'm going to go on eBay now and see, can you find a Jim Lee?
You can find
I've sold listing for Jim Lee. Okay.
I've checked because I was going to buy one. You can get, at the moment, there's an X-Men 1 CGC graded with a Magneto head sketch. And it's a beautiful head sketch, mate. And that's just over £1,000. And I'm sorely tempted to have to.
Right. Okay.
There is no denying his work is stellar.
It's stellar, but it's not worth it. I mean, it's just I don't know.
But some people are going to pay this. Like
Oh, for sure.
that number's not come out of nowhere. That's that
No.
much people are.
I think he keeps on raising
super
the
rich
price,
comic
and
collectors want it.
I heard that
you
he's
know.
raising the prices because he didn't think people would actually buy it at that price,
Yeah.
but they are. I mean,
But he's
I'm
trying to
not-
price out so he's not flushed with millions of.
I mean, I don't know
thousands
if
of
Todd
people.
McFarlane does commissions. I've never seen him do them. I
don't
wonder
think
what he
so.
would charge, or other more famous artists. But I myself, when I go to Artist Alley at Comic Cons, there's all kinds of not as well known comic book artists who are just as good and brilliant work, and I'd rather give them my money.
Yeah. I guess the argument can be made, isn't it, is what constitutes art in terms of, is this a piece that's going to at some point in the future be regarded as, a classic piece of artwork, in which case its value, as you've said, will go up. But
It's why, for example, because I tell people in my life, oh, I'm going to get stuff signed and I pay this much money at a convention fair, though why do they even charge and stuff? But it's like, I can go sell that for money if I want to. So I understand that that's the valuation if I went and got art done. Now, I don't know who's buying 35 grand artwork.
probably Nick Cage.
another
It'll be
universe.
someone famous
Probably,
who
yeah.
collects comics,
Put it
But as
this
well as
way.
that, like I'm here on eBay, Jim Lee original art, and it's like the highest. There's none sold above $1,000. Like,
Yeah. And this is the thing, again, another plug for my channel. I interviewed a brilliant guy a few weeks ago called the Patron of Comic Art, who collects original artwork. And he often says, and he said on the show, we didn't talk about this specific topic, but he said, if someone's charging that amount of money for sketches and things like that, he would rather go and get a piece of published artwork from them. So an original that's been published in a comic, because you
Yeah.
can get that at a much cheaper price, but just as nice art. So yeah, it's another interesting one.
I would
Let's-
expect for 35 grand a cover quality or poster quality thing.
And to be fair, James, some of the images, he put an image up of a Galactus image he'd drawn, and it's there's no denying it's spectacular, and there's a lot of effort in it.
With that amount of money, to end this topic, besides the comments, I'd rather buy a good comic book with that type of money.
35 grand, I think you could get a low grade AF-15, couldn't you, or a decent grade?
Yeah, I'd rather
Get a decent grade here, 15.
Yeah,
Yeah,
decent
decent
grade.
grade.
3.0,
Yeah.
2.0,
Three or
3.0.
four, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather spend money on that.
Yeah. Let's see what the chat thinks. Fuzzy, yes, end of. Yeah, Fuzzy thinks it's worth it. Well, I think because of the star status of them. What is going on here? Look at these sexy MFs here.
Thank you. man.
Thank you very much for joining, bud. Go ask Paul McCartney to write you a quick song and see what he charges. That's a very good point, Fuzzy.
No,
is
but
a very good point.
that highlights the point I made, though, is that he's charging professional prices at a convention. You know, like it's not like Paul McCartney doing a CD signing and saying, "Well, my signature is what you know." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Grey Man, that's got to be a misplaced decimal point, surely. Which doesn't he charge that so he doesn't have to do it? That's the other thing, Terry. I think, if you're Jim Lee and you're flooded by people wanting to get sketches of you, you need to somehow control the crowd, as it were. So you're right, it's probably so high, so he's not getting hundreds of sketches.
he'll get 3 or 4. He'll make 150 grand, and he's happy with that. Like, yeah.
That's crazy.
I love Jim Lee. I would love a piece of his art, but at those prices, he can shove it out of his arse. Yeah. As the masses go, no one would really pay that. However, in San Diego, in California, where there are a lot of affluent customers, he would only need to do 1 or 2 projects.
That's if you're like high up in a tech company in the Valley.
Yeah.
Like that's nothing to you, so you would be like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, I want a Wolverine by Jim Lee or whatever." So like, yeah, I see that, but that's just it's unfortunate. Everybody should just be like, "No, we're not paying this."
And I think Alex's point there is really interesting, because I get he's the top of the line. He can charge what he wants. He's Jim friggin' Lee. Do you know what I mean? But you are totally ruling out 95, almost 99% of your fan base who just want a bit of your art, and you're saying nah. So I get that as well. It's not an easy question, is it? Yeah. You're not paying for his time, you're paying for the 30 years of experience. Again, that's a fair point. Jim Lee signed my X-Men run for free. at Alexandra Palace in '93. Just imagine, Batman, if you're getting him to do a quick sketch on it. Whoa, you'd be in it.
Is there someone comparable, like, that's on Jim Lee's level that you know that does commissions?
Not that does commissions. I mean, Todd,
Or that
Superstar
that in the last 5 years has done a convention and charged anywhere near that.
That's a good question. When you think superstar artists these days, Jim Lee is probably one of the first people that comes around. I would argue Alex Ross. I don't know that Alex Ross does commissions. I've never heard of anybody getting a commission from Alex Ross.
I've never seen him at a comic book convention either.
Take too long, wouldn't it? Like those things take days to do, I would think. Like,
see, this is the interesting thing, isn't it? Because as I'm speaking there, I'm thinking, I don't know how much I would pay for an original Alex Ross piece.
If he was at a con, it would be a quick sketch. It wouldn't be like in depth either, you know.
No.
But that's not the Alex Ross Sheen. You want that photorealistic thing, you know.
No. Yeah. I want this one.
I want a Throg that looks like it's gonna spit on me. You know?
Lewis is saying, I run a Facebook page. Pop the link, sort of the name in the chat. I am a member, but I can't remember what it's called. I know we're met at Thought Bubble, I think, and I've followed it since. But he runs a page that does a few buddies about commissions and their pricing. We're 15,000 members large so far, and you'd be surprised at the amount of people who have that kind of money to spend. Yeah,
you know,
I can believe it.
If people are into it, I've told you guys how much I've spent on my comic books. You know, so what's the difference? I mean, now that I start thinking about it a little bit more, if I'm so into the comic books, I wanted to get them. If I had the same feeling for commissions and his artwork, then yeah. And if I had the money,
and you know, a Van Gogh goes for $5 million. Yeah, you see that in the newspaper, you don't bat an eye. So
I do think there's something about, isn't there, about it being a unique one-off piece of artwork.
Now I want one.
Yeah. See, the more we talk about it, the more I'm going back to Fuzzy's point at the start. Yes, it is, and we all want one. We've got Connie. Nice to see you, Connie. I hope you are well.
What's up?
Sketch price, comic book sketches, commissions, and autograph prices. If you fancy looking us up on Facebook, there's some great pieces posted of Jim and his price levels.
Cool.
Tremendous. Thank you very much. We will. I'm sure the guys will check that out because there are some great items on there. It's completely up to him, of course, but he's pricing himself out. That sort of money, I'd want published art at the very least. Yeah, I think that's fair. If he charges £100, he knows 90% would be on eBay. Guys, we've got hundreds of comments, so I'm just going to quickly rattle through, or else we're going to be in here all night. Thank you so much. Really do enjoy everybody. Perez, never charged that much. Yeah, I would love it. I haven't got a Perez sketch. That's the one that's on my list.
I have one.
Of course you do.
And you know what you charged me?
Oh, yeah.
About $40, something like that. Yeah. You know, it was a Flash one. I had a great.
He's a good guy.
I've seen it.
Yeah, very nice gentleman. He was a very nice gentleman.
I would love, a Thor Perez sketch. That's one of my bucket list things. There are interior art on eBay for 1 to 2K. That's interesting. Art's subjective, absolutely, for media. Just look at some of the modern art from galleries and the prices they bring. It's not for everyone, but if there was no market for it, the price wouldn't be there. True, very true. I'm just skipping through here. 35k gets me a loft conversion. Something is worth what someone's willing to pay. Again, absolutely. I don't know, guys. 35k for an AF-15 original Jim Lee piece of art. Better investment is an AF-15, sure. Or you can be original by having an original. Yeah. Let's have a look.
A lot of great answers.
Well, the thing about original, though, is that nobody wants that more than you do because you asked for it.
It's unique, isn't it?
You know? Yeah. So you're willing to pay $35,000 for it. Doesn't mean anyone else is.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Hector's saying, I've watched Jim Lee's live streams and he can do a very nice piece in about an hour. Yeah. These top tier artists, I'd use some of the guys we have on my art show when we do our art show. I mean, looking at, the incredible Alex Cormack. The images he draws in the 4 or 5 minutes we've got are breathtaking. Absolutely breathtaking.
So he'd be making
20k.
If $35,000, say it's an hour for the $35,000 one. Or we'll say 2 hours then for the $35,000 one. From how long is the day run in San Diego? 9 till
I think they open at 9 o'clock till 7.
9 hours, so 4.5, so 9 over the.
If I paid that much money,
it's a lot of money.
So fucking lot of money.
Yeah.
Nearly $1 million.
James is right. An evening with me costs you about 35k. I'm charging these guys
free for me, baby.
charging these guys 20 for tonight. But you know, I think that's a bargain. Let's move on. That was a great interaction from the chat. Thank you, everybody who's commented there.
Yeah,
really interesting stuff.
God, like I said, we go on for hours with that comment and with that topic, Peter. You know, honestly. But thanks for all the comments, everyone. And this is our last regular question. Then we're going to have bonus questions after this. And James, this was a good one, man. You're up.
It's a very broad one. Was Disney buying Star Wars a good thing? So, we've had the Acolyte lately. A lot of people down on it. Disney was sold to Lucasfilm was sold to Disney in I think 2009. Since then, like, has that been good for Star Wars? My argument would be we've gotten a lot of great stuff since then. A lot of really great characters have been created since then. Star Wars Rebels was incredible. The Mandalorian first couple of seasons incredible. Like, there's been I know it's hit and miss, but like there has been some amazing stuff. So like, what's your take on this?
If he didn't sell it to Disney, he probably would have had most of the same people in charge right now, I would think. I mean, gosh.
Do you think he would have ever got around to do a sequel trilogy though?
No. I mean, he's an older gentleman now. I think he wouldn't have done much anymore. If he had not sold it to Disney, he probably would have sold it to some other company. And, who knows how much of a difference it would have been. I wish that he would have had, I'm not sure how much, if he even has any more say in the matter, if they come to him for advice.
I think Filoni speaks to him about like Mandalorian and stuff. Like, so he's not officially involved, but he has some.
I know it's been hit and miss, but I say yes. I say it's been a good thing because Disney does come out with them.
We have Star Wars regularly now. We didn't. Yeah, there was 20-year gaps of things from Star Wars coming out other than video games and books. So like we have the video games now, we have the books now, plus we have the animated series and the live action series and the movies. So for me, I think it's good.
I'm not 100% yes, but I am glad that they did.
Yeah, not been a perfect track record. I think anyone would argue that. Yeah, and they kind of fucked up the movies, I think, a little bit with not having Han, Luke, and Leia together for it, which is a pretty big missed opportunity because that's what everybody wanted. But overall, I like what they're even though I don't like every individual project, I
know there's no way of knowing, but what could have been if they had not done it? How many shows, how many movies would have been out there?
I would say we probably have another few. They'd have finished Clone Wars and we'd have got we probably would have got Rebels, I think, as well. Yeah. I would imagine.
I think it was good I think it was good. We get to watch them now, whether we like them or hate them,
Yeah. Peter, you're very quiet.
Yeah.
No, I'm listening to your answers so I can go in. Lots of comments in the chat again, guys. People backwards and forwards on this. There's some great points being made. So thank you very much for that. I come to this one. You can never please a Star Wars fan. So for me, there's a very clear thing here for me in my head. Do I think it was a good thing for them buying it? Yes, because I go to a lot of the comments we've got in the chat here. We're getting content, and I don't know how much content we would have got if they didn't buy it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how much Star Wars we would be seeing on the screens at the moment. So we've got all kinds of stuff happening. We've got the movies and all the rest of it, the TV shows and all the rest of it. So yes, I'm pleased to have bought it because they're producing Star Wars stuff for to watch. The other question though is it good content? And the answer is, for me, sadly, absolutely not.
Not always. Sometimes.
I think sometimes we get.
You like any of it?
I have. No, I have. I've liked it best when they tried to do Star Trek. I liked it best when they did
Andor,
Andor, which was for me more Star Trek in terms of plot and morality and storytelling, more akin to that I'm used to. And I think the rest of the shows have lost that a bit. I love it. You know what I'm like? I'm a very simple man to please. I love a good lightsaber fight.
Yeah.
Does that save an entire series? If we look at the Acolyte, I mean, we've been talking about it a fair bit. I've had one episode that I've really enjoyed, which was the Latey Hit Things episode.
Fifth episode, yeah.
Yeah. The rest of it, for me, has been pretty dire. And I always know, I don't know how you guys watch your TV and content and whatnot, but I always know if it's a good show for me personally if I'm on my phone. So if it's a good episode, like I'm watching the Dexter or something like that, I'm in it and I'm watching it. If I'm getting irritated with it, I'll be sat on Instagram and kind of watching and looking up and watching, because it's lost us, you know. And I would say for a lot of the Disney Star Wars, I'm playing on my phone when I'm watching it, which is a shame.
You're not really watching it then, I would argue.
No,
So you can't really
I'm
enjoying it.
well, but the reason I'm not watching it is because
You're
it's
not enjoying it.
you know what I mean? It's disengaged. I'm waiting for something interesting to happen.
I think, to be fair though,
I think just one last comment, and I'm interested what people think in the chat about this. All the money that Disney have got, and possibly I would argue the biggest franchise of all time, Star Wars, or one of the biggest franchises of all time. Are you seriously telling me this is the acting talent they've decided to put into some of their shows? Some of the most wooden crap performances on billion-dollar properties. I don't get it. And you can say the same for Marvel, mate.
Yeah, it's not. That's not even a money thing. That's just a creative thing. It's who's in charge of these things and who's making those decisions. So there's the management issues there.
Yeah,
100%. I don't think anyone can argue against that. I would say though, Peter, I know you've kind of shied away from the animated stuff, and I think everyone will probably agree that the animated stuff has been some of the best.
Heck yeah.
Rebels, the best of Rebels is some of the best Star Wars there is.
Yep.
I think.
I wish Rebels would come back.
Yeah, Bad Batch, I think, hit some episodes are hit and miss, but overall, fantastic characters, fantastic series.
I did enjoy the little anthology series as they did.
Visions, Visions. Yeah, I like them as well. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's good. I'm happy. We have Star Wars now. We didn't before, so it's good.
Lots of comments, yes. Lots of comments. And you know, this one, Disney buying Star Wars revitalized the franchise with new film series and content. It expanded the universe, introduced fresh stories, boosted Disney, and created exciting franchises. It was good. I can't disagree with that. I don't necessarily think it was good quality, but you're absolutely right. I would rather have this than not have anything. Do you know what I mean? Alex, I think Disney buying Marvel was a good thing as a collector of collected editions. We'd never have the amount of awesome stuff coming out with Mickey's money back in it again. And Alex, you know, if you go back and look at the history of Marvel, we're lucky to have Marvel at all, because it nearly went bust on a few occasions,
multiple times.
So yeah, I think Disney saved it. The stories have been different genres for different age ranges. Of course, you're not going to love it all. Absolutely. Name me a multimedia franchise where you've enjoyed every piece of media from it. Again, a great point, and I can't. I can't think of anything where I can't. You're right. And we're getting more games as well. Rogue One saying absolutely. I know you.
Now, to be fair, even in the Lucas era, there was LucasArts, so we were regularly getting games there. Yeah, like The Force Unleashed. And I think the worst thing about Disney buying Star Wars was that they cancelled. There was a game called Star Wars 1313. It was a Boba Fett game. And it looked incredible. It looked amazing. And they cancelled it like 80% through development. And that's almost unforgivable. So that's my problem. That was the thing that made me angry at the start.
Michael Jackson would have saved it. Yeah.
He'd have been Peter Parker, wouldn't he? He wanted to play Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Imagine if that happened.
All I know is when I've gone to Star Wars Celebration, and you guys went last year, it was so many people still go to those conventions for Star Wars, and it's crazy. You know, the fandom.
Double-edged sword. I think for me, it was a special experience being there, surrounded by Star Wars. You know, it's really cool. Well, on the other hand, it was just so many people. Like, it was so many people. It was just insane.
But that was more the venue's issue than anything, I think. I don't think it was a well-organised event, if I'm honest.
Well, you know, half the venue wasn't open for it for some reason. Like, they had the halls.
Really?
Empty. Yeah, halls and halls of empty, like, hangars, basically. Like, they could have had open for people to stay in. They didn't. Yeah.
Oh, worked Star Wars Celebration last year. Tell me what area you worked in, mate. We might have seen. We ended up going for drinks with some of the security team, didn't we?
No, we didn't go. No, we didn't. We went for a drink after, because there was like an after party thing that I had tickets for, and we were so tired. We was like, we'll have one drink, and then we just fucking left. But we were sitting outside, and there was two security guards having a drink there, and they were laughing at the people, these fucking nerds. We were like, where are you guys coming from? I go, we're at the convention. Can you believe these people showing up in Jedi robes? Yeah.
We got some really good questions this week, man. A lot of good comments too. Thank you, everybody who showed up and leaving us, putting in your 2 cents, so to speak, and all these questions. Good topic. All right, we are almost towards the end, and it's bonus questions time. Oops.
Sorry, Darkmean. I looked at the game with the Star Wars minis games. I might have even passed you. Might have seen you.
I bumped into him.
Yeah. Very cool. Warwick Davis took me on his. Is that true? Warwick Davis took you out in his Segway. Tremendous. I love it. Sorry, Efren.
That's okay. That's good. Keep on coming with those comments. They're excellent. So this is bonus questions. I said, guys, at the end of our normal questions, we're going to ask 3 questions. Does not have to do with comic books or entertainment, or anything like that. Just, any question we want to ask. And I'm up first. And if you could speak another language, what would it be?
Easy.
Go ahead, Peter.
I'll give you an example and see if you can guess what it is. Okay. Something along those lines.
Klingon?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to be able to talk.
You would choose a fictional language.
Yeah, why the hell not?
Outside of a Star Trek convention, you can't apply that to your life.
What do you mean a fictional language? There's a dictionary and everything.
Yeah.
I'm sure I had it when I was younger. Yeah,
So was that
Klingon.
Klingon speak, Peter? Or was that just something you just made up right now?
I just made that shit up, Efren,
Okay,
but it was
sounded
good.
real.
It was convincing,
Good.
wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, Klingon. Oh, you see, Fuzzy knew.
Yeah.
See, it's a popular choice.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
language of love. Yeah. So yeah, that's mine. Klingon.
For me, I'm tempted to say French because I know a little bit of French, but because I have people in my life that don't speak English that I have to learn French to talk to. I have to converse with in French. So that's difficult. Outside of that, I think Japanese would be cool. Go to Japan, no Japanese, be fluent in Japanese. I think it'd be really easy to get a translator job as well. So that'd be cool. I'd probably go over.
Very hard language to learn, I think. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
I know. That's why if I can just instant learn it, that'd be a
Yeah.
good one. Spanish would be a cool one as well. I like when I go holidays in Spain. It'd be cool if I just knew the language and could talk to people. Fun.
Yeah. Japanese is a popular one. I think a lot of people are interested in that.
Yeah, that was going to be mine too. I chose Japanese. I just finished watching the miniseries Shogun. I was on Netflix,
Yeah.
and I had it on, in their language, but subtitles in English, just to see. Oh God, that'd be so cool to learn that language, but it seems so hard too, man. I was like, dang, And I the only reason I speak Spanish is because my parents, taught me it when I was a little kid growing up.
Yeah.
But yeah, my choice would be Japanese too, So I would like to learn that, and it wouldn't be Klingon. Sorry, Peter.
Then we could have conversations and James wouldn't know what we're talking about.
I was about to say if I knew Spanish,
James could make a comment and I could look at you and go,
You can tell by our facial expression what the hell we're talking about, man.
then I'll get the dictionary and I'll learn it so that I can hear what you're saying.
Padbear saying that was definitely Welsh and he's pretty sure I've just asked his wife out on it too. Dead man, you can take a degree in Klingon.
What's the world coming to?
Dear God. Well, Jedi's listed as a religion, isn't it? So that's the world we're in.
Yeah.
I'd love to learn Japanese so I could.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We surely aren't that far away from hearing things that will auto translate, the way that's soon. Surely, that's.
You would think absolutely. You get an AirPod that that just translates. You would think, yeah.
Soon.
God, yeah. The Scottish people I can't understand. I've been here most of my life. That's a very distinct dialect. Yeah.
Okay.
Good question.
Yeah. Peter, this is yours, and I had me thinking once I seen it. You're gonna explain it. You ready?
Yeah. Yeah. So I went deep, guys. I went deep. I thought normally when we do this show, we end up talking about what's your favourite pie filling, or stuff like that. So I thought, what would we do? And I thought I'd give you some moral dilemma in it tonight. So I recently watched an episode of Inside Number 9, which I know I talk about a lot. But they posed a problem as part of that episode, and it got us intrigued. So I did a bit of research on it, and it's called the tram problem. Have you heard of this?
No.
So it's been around from the 40s, and it's an ethical dilemma. And there's been lots of different variations of it, but it's to kind of see how you tick. So the basic premise is, and we're going to do the bridge version rather than the tram version. So you're stood on a bridge, all right? And there's a tram or a train going underneath past you, and it's going to hit a crowd of about 5 people. Okay, so you can just stand back, let it go, and it'll kill 5 people. Or there's a rotund gentleman like myself on the edge of the bridge, and if you push him over, he'll stop the tram. So what do? Do you let the 5 people die, or do you push the man off the bridge and save those 5 lives but end his life?
Is there going to be legal repercussions for me if I push the guy off the thing, or am I going to be hailed as a hero?
Well, I don't know. That's the trolley problem. That's what it's called. Yeah, you're right. So what do you think? It's real life, so yes, there will be. I mean, it's a choice, isn't
I'm
it?
going to jail.
I don't know. Are you? I don't know.
Will there be a trial though and all that shit? Would there?
Yes, there will be a trial.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck
you have
that.
to-
No, I just have to fight people. 5 people die every fucking half a second.
so
I'm not
you're
crying about it.
so you're going to stand back and just let innocent people die.
Yeah. I'm not going to actively murder someone, am I? You know,
Well,
that's what God wants.
I think I would have to agree with James.
okay.
You know, I would just, it was supposed to happen.
That could be me, that road-turn person. I could be the one getting pushed.
Peter, if that was you, if you were the person
Yeah.
that I had to push, there's no way.
No.
I said, no, I wouldn't push you. I said, no,
That's
I'm
true.
sorry. You know?
So you guys then are more about the greater good than the individuals, yeah?
No, I'm purely selfish, and I don't want to face repercussions or have the guilty conscience of murdering someone.
So for you, James, it's not about the amount of people that die. It's purely about protecting yourself.
Pure selfishness, yeah. Like even like MJ says, can you just sacrifice yourself? That thought wouldn't even occur to me.
No, that's not a choice.
No,
You're not
I
allowed
wouldn't.
to say
I
that.
wouldn't even. But I wouldn't even if it was. Wouldn't matter.
You wouldn't.
Yeah,
do
I
it.
wouldn't change anything.
You wouldn't jump in front of the train. Yeah.
No.
One thing, you know, we're just talking about it, but if we were in the moment, I may have a different thought. You know, who
Yeah.
knows? You know, what would happen if I was right in the moment? You know, go, fuck you, Peter.
But also, you know,
What
Like,
about what
you
about
don't know it's going to stop the train, so you could just like, murder an extra person.
Yeah.
You know, like,
what about then if it's 5 people you know?
and a person I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I know that if I push,
You're going to meet. This is horrible, I know, but you're going to meet your family and you see them in the distance, and there's a fat bloke on the bridge.
It would have to be that person. You know, if I seen my family, you know, there, you know, if I seen you guys on the train too, yeah, I wouldn't even. God dang, that's a tough question. We're supposed to be having fun in this show, man.
would you push?
What kind of pie do you like better?
Okay, me and Peter are standing next to each other. You can push one of us to save your family.
Oh, James, it's me. It's
Thanks
me
for
saving
showing up,
me.
everybody. We'll see you
Yeah,
next
see
month.
you.
I mean, I'm young. I got more of my life to live. You know what I mean? So like,
What do you mean by that? Okay, let's jump to the chat. It's an interesting one because you can debate it backwards and forwards, and it's quite. We use it sometimes in interview kind of scenarios just to try and push people because there's no right answer. Do you know what I mean? And you can keep pushing people, and then obviously the answer is if people say they would push the person, it's the difference between you standing back and letting something happen, or you actively making the choice to murder someone. So you've physically killed someone.
yeah. Well, that's why. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Let's just see what the comments, the chat would do. Grey Man saying it's the trolley problem. Yeah, absolutely, bud. Fuzzy, if they stood on the tracks, then sorry, it's tough. We've got enough.
That's a good point.
Very true, Fuzzy. Very true. It's the trolley one from Thomas Tank Engine and Friends. The return guy's the fat controller. Yeah. Can Trump be the single person? I'd push Trump. Yeah. Rogue One, Jesus Peter, you're twisted. I'm going to add it to me. This is my questions, I think. MG, why do they have to be fat?
have to stop a train.
To stop
Yeah.
a train, obviously. Do you know what I mean?
Obviously,
We'll push you in front of a train, James. You're just getting squished. You know what I mean? It's still ploughing through. You push
Yeah.
James. You know, it's a bit of a different impact.
all right. I mean, I am comfortable in my own skin, Peter.
Imagine all the belly buttons.
What do you
James.
think?
Okay, that was. Did you say Efron and Frey Bentos? Yeah, actually, have you eaten the Frey Bentos yet, Efron?
Have a what?
The tinned pie I sent you. Did you manage to eat it?
Yeah.
Did you like it? Was it
Yeah, it was good.
tasty?
Everything was good. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
good
very
stuff.
unique.
Unique does not mean good.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Good stuff. Right, next question.
Next question. That was a tough one, Peter. Dang, man. Okay, this is the last question of the day, and it's by
Come on.
James. You ready?
Yep. What's your favorite YouTube channel, excluding people you know? So, like, what do you actually like watch on your downtime? What channels do you enjoy?
So not people we've interacted with.
No, so because usually we go, oh, you know, I love like Jason Barker and MJ Comics, and oh, I love Triple G Comics. I love like no one you know, no one you've interacted with in real life. Just like this is a channel I enjoy for the entertainment of it.
So I watch two a lot. I watch Lad Bible because I love their Snack Wars thing. UK versus
Yeah,
whatever
I
it
like
is.
that one as well. It's
I
good.
quite like that. And they also do really interesting series of kind of like there was one I watched when I was on my lunch break at work where it was kind of a London gangster and a mafioso guy talking to each other, and it was just so interesting in terms of them saying kind of things like, you know, have you allegedly ever whacked someone? Like, oh yeah, you know, I've allegedly killed 15 people. And, you know, it was like, oh my god. So that's interesting. So I watch a lot of that. And I also watch, is it Mojo? Watch Mojo?
Welcome to Watch Mojo.
Yeah, where they do like, you know, top 10
Top 10,
deaths in a series and stuff like that. So that's the kind of stuff I watch.
I used to watch them years ago, but I found that like the top 10s are getting so specific, it's just getting ridiculous because they're running out of things, you know.
Yeah.
Instead of just going back to the start and doing it again, you know.
Yeah.
Efren?
I know you guys aren't into sports as much as I am or at all, you know, but when I go on YouTube, besides, you know, watching comic book related, you know, stuff like you guys or other people, I like watching sports clips, you know, like from baseball, football, basketball. I've been into sports my whole life, you know, before comic books are just about the same time. So I try to find, you know, highlights of upcoming highlights of past games that you like from the last day or so. Really into that. You know? Yeah.
That's fair. For me, I Mr. Sunday Movies is probably my favorite. Like they do the Caravan of Guard, two Australian guys, and they do like our horror channel is very kind of modeled after it. But they do like movie reviews. I wouldn't say because the personality is the important part, isn't it? But they do a thing called Caravan of Garbage, and it's like a review of a movie. It's just a funny conversation they have with it. So I love those guys. Matt McMuscles, so he does like a lot of video game content, but he has a show called What Happened, and he looks into like it could be a movie or a game, usually a game or a game's console or something like that, and just how it went wrong, like what the behind the scenes, and he often like gets kind of sources to tell him the inside goss on it. So like that's a really fun one. I've recently been watching one called Alt Shift X. It's called. It's like a Game of Thrones channel, and he does like. After I watch House of the Dragon, he has like a 4-hour live stream after every show, just analyzing every scene and who these characters are. And like, oh, this guy was in this last episode and this character was in season 1, episode 4 and stuff. And like, it really adds to it a lot. And then he does like a episode explained the day before the next episode launches. So it's like an hour long kind of thing of like breaking down the entire episode. So like, he's a really good channel as well. I like him.
I watch a lot of 1/6 scale review channels, so your Justin's Collection and Dean Knight and things like that. I like a lot of those. I started watching via my son a channel, very popular channel, I think called I Did a Thing. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
That's quite cool. So that's kind of a guy, an Australian guy, I think, in his garage, and he basically makes just ridiculous inventions and things like that.
Yeah.
And tests them out. And that's quite a fun channel. I quite like that. And recently, I couldn't tell you the name of it, but recently started watching one with my son of a guy, an American guy again, who goes on family vacations, but they're always kind of wild things. Like he's in the bloody forests and things, chasing animals and stuff with his little kids and stuff.
Yeah.
Or building shelters in the snow and things. So I like that kind of stuff as well. I don't watch a lot, to be honest. That kind of flick it on my phone now and then. But I haven't got a lot of time, to be honest.
I have I can listen to YouTube and work for like 6 hours at a shift. So I blast through loads of stuff. So I have tons of channels. But like other ones, Star Wars Explained, I really like. I think they're cool guys. Chelsea and I can't remember the main guy with they're good fun. Bombastic, another cool channel. I think Luke Stevens. It's a good channel. So like, yeah, there's a lot of
good stuff.
Good ones out there.
Let's see what the chat suggestion. Deadman saying Gary Eats. I watch a lot of silly food channels as well, I have to say. Robo Don't Know, not heard of that one. What's that one about? Phil, I've not heard of that one. Arrowflame, Transformers, the show, Tabletop Minions, yeah, that's a good one. Black Magic Craft, Comic Storian.
Comic Storian. Did he pass away?
Oh, I'm not sure. Oh,
Didn't there was some big comic book YouTuber? I think it was Comic Storian. I think he passed away last week.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know. Great man. I watch a lot of political stuff and a lot of atheist stuff, strongman content, plus some comic stuff, of course. It's funny you're saying that, Grey man, the atheist stuff, because I tend to quite like watching a lot of the debates kind of things. So where you've got kind of Stephen Fry, and what's the guy who wrote the God Complex? Anybody remember? Richard Dawkins, is it? Richard Dawkins, I think. So I like watching a lot of their debates with the church and things like that. Really quite interesting. Robo Don't Know used to be the Fwoosh. D Knight's very good. Yeah, I like D Knight and Jedi Patrol's good as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he did pass away last month.
He did he? Oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
it's a great YouTuber.
Squidmire miniatures. They paint Warhammer miniatures and stuff, but they're crazy funny. I'm not even interested in the subject, but the channel is awesome viewing. Yeah.
I have that sometimes as well, where I'm like, I don't care about the thing. I just think that the hosts are really fun, or
Yeah,
you know,
they're fun.
they're entertaining. So
80s commercial vault, thousands of hours of commercials from the 80s, 90s, and even 70s. Not heard of that one, but that sounds like something I would enjoy watching. James, I watch a guy called Retro Ghetto. Sounds cool. Grim Life Collected. There's loads of good suggestions here. Comic Storian passed away. Yeah, very sad. I used to watch a few, but got blocked unnecessarily.
I wonder who.
Who that could be. Yeah. Don't give them the attention they seek. Geek. Okay. Toy reviews done quick. Yeah, I like that. I watched some fella who cuts people's grass for free.
I like that guy.
I've seen that.
Yeah. He shows up. It's YouTube Shorts. He shows up to people's houses and knocks on the door and go, "Hey, I want to cut your grass."
Yeah.
It's free, and he just does a video like a speed of him cutting it, like and cleaning.
Yeah,
it.
I've seen that guy. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Actually, he does that. You know, he just has
There's also
kind of art.
Yeah, that's good. Just nice guy. Like obviously he's making more money on the video than he would ever like making, which is that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Like just do shit for free for people. There's also like a similar kind of thing with there's a guy who runs it's called the Spud Bros, I think, and they have a food van of just baked potatoes, and they give it the shit for free because they just make a video of like beans and cheese and taco sauce and shit. It's like, why are people fucking queuing up? Why is a Spud van, baked potato van selling out every day? You can make a baked potato at home easily. You know? It's weird.
Yeah, I've never watched someone cutting grass.
Beans and cheese on a... It's better than it sounds, Peter. They're good videos. Yeah.
It's a guy that says, "Hey, he owns he cuts grass for a living. Owns that type of company." Just
It's not just cutting grass. He completely renovates people's driveways, basically.
They're in pretty bad shape. But I go, "Well, that's pretty cool." I've seen that guy. Yeah.
I'll tell you one that I watch, and I watch it again via my son watching it. So I'm kind of watching it because I'm in the sitting room, and I thought I would hate it. But I started kind of just drifting. It's a guy called Daz Reacts. Have you seen him? He's an English guy, but he does gaming channels.
Sorry, yes,
but he's very entertaining, very energetic. But I love it when he does the ones where he's reacting to kind of like crazy people. So they're doing a video about how they only drink their own urine and things like that, and he's reacting and kind of shouting at the screen and stuff. And he's quite fun. I like him.
Yeah. Cinnamon Toast Ken's a good React one as well. Like he does a lot of videos on To Catch a Predator. Like he'll look at it's just him and his friend laughing at them. I think it's fun.
Well, he doesn't cut his own. We've got tons and tons of suggestions here. Lots of really cool ones. There are channels of all sorts like that. More than one grass cutter guy. Yeah, I bet he's got millions of subs as well. I bet we're busting with balls for this.
I've never heard any of these
grass.
channels. Hang on. It's hard work cutting grass, man. I'm telling you. Beard Meets Food is the only one someone's in the comments mentioned. I know. I love this channel. He's really
4 million.
Scooter. You know, like it's good fun. He does food challenges. It's fun.
Okay. Lots of great comments here, guys. Thank you very much.
We are at the end, everybody, right? Anybody has any bonus questions you want to come up with at the top of your head, guys, or are we done for this month?
I think that's...
I went down horseshoe and rabbit hole. Graham Man's watching videos about horseshoeing.
I'll one up that. There's a channel that does. He's like a horse medic, and his thing is that he like drains horse.
Oh no, I can't.
Horse like
Abscesses.
Yeah, obsessed. Literally, I watched them for like a whole day one time. Like I'm just because usually it's literally he has it's either he's pulling a thing out of their shoe and it comes out, and usually there's like a pressure release. So just at one point he's like it's bubbling, and then poof, just explodes with like pus.
As you know, I'm a nurse, and during my 20 odd years as a nurse, I've seen toes fall off. I've seen an abdominal wound dehiss in front of us, so it's split open. I've seen brain surgery. You know, I've watched them cut and stuff like that. So I've seen stuff like that, and it doesn't phase us. I watch that Dr. Pimple Popper woman, and I'm to take away. Honestly, it's just it just makes us want to vomit. I can't cope with it. It's bizarre. I watch noodling videos for
I'm happy you elaborated what it is, though. I'm happy you said it because I wouldn't.
Horsefoot guy, I binged for a few days and I don't need any more. Jesus. Dr. Pimple Popper is quite fascinating. It's just rank. But I don't understand. Have you guys seen it?
I haven't, but my daughter gets into it for some reason.
I don't. These people kind of turn up and they've got like a second head on the side of the head or on the back. It's
sorry. Yeah.
It's like the size of a football. And they say to them, how long's it been like that? Oh, about 6 years. Why? Why have you just let it grow and pulsate and then they open it up and pull?
Or there's ones where it's like they'll have like it looks like a blackhead and they'll pull like something out of their nose or something. It's disgusting.
There was a channel of a woman just recording that. Thousands of subs. Subs.
Imagine doing something wrong, guys. Just lean into the.
Oh God! Darkman is saying, "What about videos of people that prank scam?" Yeah, I quite like those as well. I quite like those. When they clean horses' hooves, that's crazily satisfying to watch. Also, the girl who takes away wasp nests and hornets' nests. Yeah, I've seen some of those as well. I also watch. I also watch a lot of rocket launchers from SpaceX. Oh, rocket launchers. That makes more sense. I thought you meant rocket launchers. I thought you meant rocket launchers. Yeah, got you. Yeah.
Huck too. Oh, you gotta give that Huck too. Spit on that.
She lost her job.
No, that's bullshit.
Is it bullshit? Is it
bullshit? Everything people have heard about it. She's only come out recently, right? And now she's getting a reality show.
Dang.
And she's been telling people stop buying merchandise that you can only buy from my website. Stop buying merchandise. And I'm just like, already I'm annoyed with her. Like, I'm just like, why is this? You know, she said a silly thing on camera once. Why are you giving her a fucking reality show? Like, is she really that?
But that's the reality of YouTube and stuff, isn't it? I mean,
she's really milking her 15 seconds there. I think
a lot of we're in the chat. You know, we've got some great YouTubers in the chat here. We've got MJ Comics. We've got Greyman, loads of others. You know, we all put out a lot of content, and it's no lies that it's an absolute struggle sometimes to get a few subs and things like that. And then you get people who do that, or pop a spot or whatever, and it's like thousands of subs. There's no rhyme or reason to it sometimes.
Work our ass off, man. It's hard. Yeah.
Fuzzy saying she's got a camera crew following her already. Wow.
Jeez. Why? Yeah. That's going to end badly for her. I put money on it. I put money. She's got some skeletons that.
Well, it's her 15 minutes of fame. She might as well try to make as much money as she can.
What I would have done is I'd have started a Twitch channel and milk, like that'd been my thing. You know, I have a bit of an audience now. Now, why are you kind of fucking reality show?
I guarantee she'll be the surprise guest on Big Fat Quiz of the Year this year, because they always have some internet celebrity. So it'll be her.
She's the big thing of this year. Yeah.
Emmons and World of Geek, it's so difficult just record and find the courage to say what you want to say. I find it hard most days. I agree.
We have each other though, Peace, now, so it's not too bad. What? I can't do what you used to. I can't look into a camera and talk. It's just impossible. Whereas I can talk to one of yous, no problem at all. I can articulate what I want to say,
Yeah.
So,
And Grey Man, I feel you, because this is the same for us. You know, me and James have been talking about this recently. Put out a video every day and rarely get more than 50 views from my nearly 4,000 subs. There's no rhyme or reason to it, so I'm going to use One Good Scare as a... Sorry, we're getting deep here, but I'll use One Good Scare as an example. We put a poll out asking people what they wanted with a review. And by a landslide...
150 votes.
Yeah, they said Wishmaster, review Wishmaster. So we've spent a lot of time and effort in recording it, editing it, blah, blah, blah. Put it out, and it's just dead. Out of all of our videos, it's just dead.
30 views. We have our newest one, X. I spent 10 hours editing that. It's been up for 2 days. It's got 30 views. It's like, well, why does The Strangers get 2,500 and this gets nothing? You know, it is strange. Yeah.
I think the thing is, and I do at times, I get frustrated, and sometimes I do take little breaks in between. I don't do as much videos, you know, and just it is what it is, you know. But I keep on telling myself, you know, now we're getting deep, you know. I'm glad I did YouTube because I met all you guys.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and
That's all I have to take away from it. Then
yeah,
I'm winning up ahead, you know. So
you're
I just
absolutely right, Efren. And you know, we've talked before that you know these live shows quite often don't get a great deal of views, you know, post show or during show quite often.
Yeah.
But it's where I get my energy. It's this stuff. It's the interacting with the chat and stuff like that. That's where you get your kind of your bit of positivity. I think.
look so forward just hanging out with you guys and people in the who are viewing us. You know, it's just fun. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okie dokie. We're nearly on an hour 3/4.
Gosh, I thought we would just do an hour show today. You know, so.
Lots of great comments here, guys. Lots of great comments.
Darkman said, I don't see anything for Wishmaster on James. No, so we have our own a separate channel now called it's at One Good Scare Show. So we've had 80 videos, I think, now on it.
Wow, 80 already? Dang.
So, yeah, I think we had 80. There's shorts included in there and the live shows and stuff. But yeah, so we did a review of Wishmaster recently. We've done a couple. We did X the other day, so like there's some cool stuff. We also do a live show every second Friday on horror news and movies and stuff, so it's good.
Cool.
Okie dokie.
We all done, guys, for this month?
Yeah, I think that's what. Thank you so much to everybody in the comments. You guys have been phenomenal. Absolutely
A
phenomenal.
lot of good comments today. Peter, you guys want to talk about what's coming up next on your channels? If you have anything coming up?
So over on my channel, Triple J Comics, we have just put out our review of Starship Troopers. And I've got my various videos coming out. I put out normally 2 or 3 videos a day. I'm at the moment putting out a lot of short content as well, because I'm quite enjoying doing them quickly on my phone. Next week's live show on Monday, I can't remember what it is. It's not the toy show, is it? It might be the art show. I think it's the art show. Yeah.
One Good Scare. We have X up on the channel that just came out the other day. We have a spoiler review from Maxine tomorrow evening, and we have the live show on Friday at 9 p.m. British time, Irish time. So.
1 p.m. in the United States, Pacific time.
Yes. Okay.
So this upcoming Friday is going to be live then, right? You said?
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I was just thinking some of this done last week. The Hellboy trailer, we'll probably talk about that. And how shit that movie looks. Well, looks all right. Yeah, so there'll be whatever news has happened over the last week or something, and in the next few days we'll be talking about there. Peter usually talks about the comics, new horror comics.
Got some good ones to talk about as well this time. There's been a couple of good horror comics to talk about.
And we do kind of a non-spoiler break. If we've seen a horror movie since then, we do kind of a non-spoiler thing, separate from our spoiler reviews that are separate videos.
So
sorry, Efren, just to Emin, I'm going to be honest, mate. I don't know that I'm subbed to you, so please put your link in the chat, and I'll make sure I jump on that, because I'm not sure that you're one of the channels I've subbed to, but I'll definitely sub to you. And keep pushing for that 1,000. It takes a while. I didn't think I would ever reach 1,000. I know Efren, you were the same. It was a struggle to get there.
It's a struggle to get to 2,000 right now, man. I've been losing. I lost like about 5 subscribers in the last week or so. I go, really? Yeah. I said, whatever. In 2 weeks, I'm gonna be at San Diego Comic-Con. I'll be broadcasting live as much as I can on Instagram, just showing you as much as I can inside the convention center and outside the convention center. And hopefully, you know, I've been talking to Peter. If he does a show on Saturday, I'll be coming on live on his YouTube channel for a couple minutes, showing you a little bit of Comic-Con. So, you know,
Just speaking of Saturday, I will try and probably do something different so we can jump on. But just a big plug to say that
Dr. Von Hoot.
yeah, Dr. Von Hoot has got a new live show, 10 p.m. UK time, which I'm not sure is that 1 o'clock. I'm not sure what time that is.
2
Eastern
o'clock.
Standard Time.
2 o'clock. 2 o'clock here in Pacific, and 5 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah. And he's reviewing comic books, what we've been watching, all that kind of stuff. So it's a worthwhile watch. So please check that out. And also, MJ Comics is always putting out some great content. Think MJ, remind us, James, if you're still in the chat, are we live on Sunday? I'm not sure if we're live on Sunday or not. But lots of stuff on his channel. And obviously, Grey Man has got amazing content. Cover Slingers, 7 p.m. UK time every Saturday. So check all those channels out. And everybody else in the chat. Just before we close up, Efren, great opportunity. If you've got a YouTube channel or an Instagram channel, please stick it in the chat for people to check out, because we want to support and promote as many channels as we can.
Don't you have your show on Thursday, Peter? The
Killer Comic Show on Thursday night, 9 p.m. Is the Killer Comic Show, where we do all kinds of geeky reviews and things like that. So again, please do check that out.
And I also forgot to say our next I'll Be Right Back, which is our retro review series, is going to be on Fright Night Part 2. So that'll be an interesting one, because we've had a good run of good movies, so we wanted to do a bad one. So be interesting.
Emin, I'm subscribed to you, bud.
Rogue One Photography, what are your Instagram handles, Efren and James? I'm at James T. Keegan is my personal one, and at One Good Scare Show is the horror channel page as well.
I'm at _comics. So, yep. All right, guys. God, this was great topics today. Good questions from everybody and all the comments too. So we will be back in 1 month, hopefully, you know, going with our next show, you know, Comic Talk. I want to thank again, you know, Peter and James for hanging out with me, man.
Thanks for having us, man.
You know, I love having you guys, talking to you guys. You know, I like seeing you. I told them yesterday I had not seen them or heard from them in about 2 weeks. I go, damn, something's missing in my life. You know, just talking to you guys.
We feel it too, Efren.
We do.
Until next time, everybody, let's see if I have the right video for outro. See you guys in 1 month. Bye.
Bye.